Hello and welcome into the KE Report. I'm your host, Shad Markwitz, and today we're getting an update from First Nordic Metals. First Nordic Metals is traded on the TSX.V under the ticker FNM and on the OTCQB under the ticker FNMCF. And I'm joined today with the CEO and with the president of First Nordic Metals, Taj Singh and Adam Cegielski. Taj, Adam, great to have you guys back on the show as always, especially when it's to celebrate a key milestone for the company, like the news that you put out on the 19th of March, where you've commenced trading on the Nasdaq First North Growth Market in Sweden. This is a big deal for the company. You guys have spent a lot of time working behind the scenes, done a lot of work to get this across the finish line, so kudos to the team for making it happen. Adam, what can you tell us about the importance or the significance for North American listeners that maybe don't understand why it's such a big deal that you're listed on the Nasdaq First North Growth Market in Sweden and tapping into that investor base there in country?
Great. Thanks, Shad, for having us. And yeah, huge milestone for the company. A tremendous amount of work went into this whole process. Months and months of planning and filings and disclosure. It was a very diligent listing process. So essentially, this is a derivative trading platform of the Nasdaq. It's like a secondary market, but it's a very serious listing. This will allow us to uplist to the Nasdaq full board, and that's something we could do probably within 60 days. So this is essentially a full Nasdaq listing, and it will allow us to do a multi-jurisdictional listing on the Nasdaq, within a 60-day period. And that's a decision we'll make later this year. For the benefit of the company, I mean, we are Sweden's largest undeveloped gold deposit. We are building an incredibly exciting story in Sweden. We're doing tremendous work on the ground. And, the company continues to work towards building relationships with all levels of stakeholders. And I think listing on the Swedish market is a huge opportunity for a company with such a unique Swedish story. And we've recently added Henrik Landin to the story, who's a Swede himself. We're going to continue to bring in high net worth strategic investors. And historically, I mean, this is, if you look at the Lundins and the work that they've done with the listing of all their companies on the Swedish exchange, these companies all have 35,000 retail investors in Sweden. So a tremendous retail opportunity to get, I think, Swedish investors who are, very intelligent. They do their work, they make investments, they're very active with their trading platforms. Like in Canada, and I think, in certain parts of the United States, you've got these tax incentives to invest in local projects and local companies. So it's just a complete no-brainer, Shad. We're going to get tremendous liquidity over time. We've got a marketing strategy that's going to, really, I think, build our story into a very Swedish-focused story. So a lot of excitement over the next 3 to 6 months, and I think we can see a slow progression of growth from the retail side, as well as potentially, on the institutional side.
Well, congratulations once again, guys, for getting it across the line. There's not that many companies that are even listed on the Nasdaq First North Growth Market in Sweden that are in the gold space. So you'll stick out there, and the companies that are listed there get a lot of volume, and they get a lot of individual participation from investors that want to invest in companies in their own backyard. So very well done. Let's also now shift over to the work program. Taj, let's get you into the conversation here. We talked last time about the drilling that was going to start up at the Aida Target. This is on your Paubäcken Project, one of two main targets along with the Harpsund target. And I think you got one drill turning there. What can you tell us about the work going on the ground? What can you tell us about when we'll start seeing some of the assays?
Yeah, thanks, Shad, and thanks for having us. So we have started diamond drilling at Aida a few weeks ago, which is going really well. Yeah, we're probably 10, 12 holes in. Turnaround is typically now 6 to 8 weeks. There's a little bit of a backup. Typically, it's more like 5 to 6. But those should start coming out very shortly. We'll do them in batches of 3, 4 holes and actively and regularly let the market know what's going on. But things are looking good so far. We obviously have a few holes that were previously done, which was the original discovery at Aida. That was done by Goldline. So we've got some knowledge of that corridor, but our knowledge continues to grow doing this oriented core drilling and learning more and more about what zones to look at. So no, things are going really well. And in fact, we likely are going to be adding a second drill shortly then on the Aida project. And then we've got to also think about the other projects as well.
Well, Taj, just to follow up on that, you mentioned you're going to put on a second rig. You must be liking what you're seeing at the 10 to 12 holes then at Aida. Is that where that second rig's going to go, or are you looking at something like following up on the Nippas target of Storjuktan? Where's the second rig going to go?
That's a great point, Shad. Yeah, look, we are going to add a second rig. We're still debating whether we added Aida to continue finishing the corridor because our goal was to get about 10,000 meters done there, if not more, based on results. So yeah, it's either going to go at Aida or it's going to go at Nippas. And to be honest, we might even have two at Aida and one at Nippas. Let's see. But the next target to go to is Nippas, and then potentially the drill at Aida when it's done moves on just a little north, a few kilometers north to, as you noted, the Harpsund target, which is composed of kind of two corridors right beside each other, Harpsund and Brokahan. So again, between Aida, Nippas, and Harpsund / Brokahan, we've got 4 multi-kilometric targets that we need to test. And as you know, we're guiding to about 25,000 meters for this year. So exciting times. We'll be able to be nimble and flexible and move things as results come in. And there's still quite a few, probably several hundred bot holes that we're waiting for from Nippas, from Harpsund, Brokahan, that will continue to help us plan drilling for those targets as well. So it's going to be regular news from the bedrock here on the Gold Line Belt that investors are going to be seeing. So we're excited. Definitely, it's the most action that's seen on the Gold Line Belt in 5-6 years, right? So even including Marshall, when Agnico was really humming on it. So we're very excited, and you can tell there's a good buzz happening on the Gold Line Belt right now overall.
Well, and to that point, Adam, I want to get you back in the discussion here. You were the CEO of Goldline, and you've been looking at this Goldline belt for a long time. This is a huge multi-kilometer trend. You've got multi-kilometric targets here. So out of all the work the team has done now with the base of till drilling into the bedrock to get some targeting for the diamond drills, you now have 25,000 meters of drilling to go after this and hit multiple targets. You know, you're a betting man. Out of all these different targets we're discussing here, Aida and Harpsund and Nippas and some of the new targets, which one is the team most animated by? Which one do you think could have the pay dirt?
Yeah, great question. And there's a feeling of redemption to go through difficult markets and keep projects alive through difficult times, and then to be able to come back and 1,100 meters or 1,200 meters, whatever the program was originally, was really just to do a proof of concept and make sure that we knew what we were onto. So incredibly gratifying to go and actually invest this amount of money into this target. Choosing these targets, I mean, I just like the fact that we've got 3 advanced targets. We've got immediate drilling at what is clearly the number 1 target. We've got 4 new targets. So as a betting man, I mean, I'm betting on the whole belt. I love the fact that we've got 8 targets and we'll probably find another 8 in the next 2 years. We've only really covered half the belt. And I think, knowing that Fäboliden is a couple million ounces, 30 kilometers south, and I know we've got a lot of historical deposits on the belt. There are more ounces here. So as a betting man, I mean, I'd like to spread my chips out, and I know we're going to hit. It's like a roulette table in some ways. But listen, Aida's hit, 22.5 meters of 2.5 grams on our 3rd hole. Very confident we're going to get similar hits, if not better. And it just takes time to obviously build that into a resource and really get comfort around size. But this is going to be a hit. This is obviously right beside an operating mill. That this Aida ore is the most perfect ore for that mill. There's no tweaking that needs to be done. So these are very high value targets. These are very important drill programs. There's a reason why we're drilling this as our highly focused target. So expecting very positive results from Aida, but I mean, our chips are spread on the roulette table and we control the whole thing, 100% of all these targets, which is a really great feeling.
Yeah, it's a great point, Adam. It's just a target-rich environment where you can keep going back along this Gold Line belt and just finding more and more targets, as well as zeroing in on the ones you've already identified. So we'll keep following along with those results when they come back in. And Taj, I think it's also worth noting that this 25,000 meter program is one of the largest drill programs going on in Europe with a gold company this year, and it's attracted the interest of more analysts, more eyeballs. I've noticed that just across my desk, I've seen some write-ups on your company from both Haywood and then more recently from Ventum. Is it encouraging that you're seeing more analyst coverage, more people following the stock?
Definitely. I mean, that was always part of the plan. Haywood Capital Markets launched, I think, in early March, a few weeks ago, and then just today, Ventum Financial launched. I think Haywood was $1.25 target price, obviously buy rating, and Ventum was $1.45 target price and a buy rating. So good, solid analysts, very well-known analysts, Jamie Spratt at Haywood and Phil Kerr at Ventum. It's good. You get thought leaders on the name. It's fantastic for getting institutionalized on the name and thinking about the name. And as an ex-analyst, that's a big goal for a company, right? Just stack up 4 or 5 really good analysts who know the name well. And it obviously is great for the retail, but a big push will be, obviously, these are well-known experts in their field, and institutions will look to their research to move forward on things and make investment decisions. So it's great, and we hope that we'll continue to add some through the year. But it's great to see that the story is really getting some traction here.
Well, Taj, as we wrap up, just bring us home with any other key news on tap for the balance of this year that you want investors keyed in on, encapsulate what we've talked about here today, and then anything else you think differentiates First Nordic Metals from some of the other companies out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, thanks, Shad. And I did want to note, we're celebrating the Swedish listing. I forgot to also note that we were awarded the TSX Venture 50 in 2025. We have that designation now, and as you know, that's awarded to the top 50 companies out of the entire venture, which is about 2,000 companies. It's based on share price increase, market cap growth, and trading volume growth. So it was great. It showed that we really put First Nordic on the map through 2024. So it's great to add that designation. I've had it before with Discovery Silver, and I know it really helped us move forward and really get the story out. So it was great to get that designation. I did want to point that out since we're talking about some celebrations and acknowledgements. For this year, catalysts, listen, 2024 was a setup year, rebranding. Here we go. Like, this is a story that's real. It's a junior that controls a land package that not really many juniors can control. And by the way, that's underpinned by a 2.5 million ounce deposit in a tier 1 jurisdiction. Remember us? That was the year in 2024. Now it's like that's all set up. Lots of geochem work has been done. Bot drilling has been done. They're all ready now for diamond drilling. So big year of diamond drilling. It's every few weeks you're going to get results coming out. There's also quite a bit of bot results still to come out. So that's going to be very good kind of incremental news for each of the targets. And remember, as Adam noted in January, you found 4 new multi-kilometric targets on the Storjuktan property. Those are going to have to be bot drilled this year. So all of a sudden, those will start moving forward in the pecking order and down the line to be able to come diamond drill targets for late 25 or likely early 26. So this is it's this carousel of 8, 10, 12, 15 targets continuing and big scale targets. And as Adam noted, this is a situation where there's already a deposit there. Barsley's there, the Svartliden mine and mill is there. You're kind of minimum size of deposit, the kind of requirement you typically need. Well, we need 1 million ounces. That's kind of out the window now. Like, even if you get super high grade 3, 4, 500,000 ounces at some of the deposits, and then another 3, 4, 500,000 ounces at another deposit, it's all going to be incremental margin, right? Because you've already got kind of the belt feel. Maybe there's a central processing facility. So that's the vision we're trying to create, and I think it's really coming to light. So lots of drilling results to come this year, and that always can be helpful for a story.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there for today, but we'll keep following along with the news here at the KE Report. And for all of you listening, if you want to follow along with the news at First Nordic Metals, definitely click on the link below this interview. It takes you right over to their website, straight to their news section, where you can sign up for updates or just follow along as the news drops. Gentlemen, great to have you on the show. Keep me posted as you have more news hit the markets. We'll get you back on for an exploration update. And as always, looking forward to our next conversation.
Thank you.